My name is Laura Chacon. I'm the parish secretary and administrative assistant to the pastor of our parish.
How long have you been at St. Ignatius, Laura?
23 years.
So you know where all the bodies are buried.
Absolutely.
Today, we want to do something a little different in our highways and byways. I've asked you if you would talk a little bit about a dear friend of yours and a pillar of our community who's just gone on to God, Ernie Giles. Would you tell us a little bit about Ernie?
I'd be happy to. Ernie Giles we lost him on All Saints Day, and he was just Mr. Giver of the shirt off his back. Always giving, always taking care of those in need, giving rides, taking care of people and their pets, and just there were no limits to his kindness. No limits.
What kind of things did Ernie do here at the parish?
Well, he had worked for the state being a key punch operator, and then he came here and he was doing music already, and he started being our database keeper. Keeper of all the names and addresses and phone numbers. So he had the privilege of being one of the first ones to do that electronically. So that was a real big deal, using his Radio Shack computer, and he was jazzed about that. And so he went from the paper files to the electronic files to keep track of all of our family's names and birthdays and addresses and phone numbers.
You mentioned music. Tell us about his musical contribution to the parish.
Ernie worked with many of the choirs, many of the music directors and liturgy directors, and the Ravati organ, his baby. He and Father Laubacher, they, with the help of the parish, made that happen, and he could make that beautiful organ that we got in the 1970s, late 70s, sing. He could just make that. There wasn't any pedal, any button that hadn't been pushed and used and applied to making beautiful music. And it was just his great gift that he shared with all of us.
Now, you told me that you helped to care for him in the last years of his life.
Yes, he called me just before his 80th birthday and says, I need groceries. So the next thing you know is I'm getting taking him for his weekly grocery runs, taking him some medical appointments, and then we had some health changes. So then later I became his durable power of attorney and healthcare advocate and helped get him placed in assisted living housing, and then moved on to skilled nursing. So we took a journey, a bit of a journey in the last 5 years. A little bit different than being an office worker, an office mate.
So why did you do that?
Ernie his relatives were all gone. His brother died 28 years ago. His sister died a number of years prior to that, as well as his mother. That left him with his aunt and uncle, who then passed. So he was alone. No relatives, no cousins, no nothing.
Why did you do that?
I couldn't see him not be taken care of. I witnessed him for 20-something years helping others, and how could I just leave him high and dry with strangers and hope the outcome would be for the best? I couldn't do it. So.
Pretty generous, Laura.
Thank you.
So, one last question. Who taught you how to be generous?
My parents, they were generous with their time, generous with, all my parents, ironically, my parents and my step-parents taught me these tricks, and it's a way of life. A way of life.